Hello everybody, we're here at RemoteCon with yet another very interesting product demo on remote work tools. Here with us now we have Jobful, a gamification recruitment platform. Jobful offers the possibility for people looking for jobs to play in order to discover their skills. As potential candidate, you build a profile, go through a gamified experience, and complete various quizzes and challenges, and then choose companies that match your profile. Candidates' professional experiences are confirmed by psychometric tests, so that employers can easily find the right people for their company. At the moment, Jobful has close to 27,000 candidates on their platform and about 300 companies recruiting. Three friends, Ioana Cepoi, Bianca and Mihai Cepoi, the current CEO, started in 2016 Playful Software, a consultancy agency doing HR process optimization through gamification. They have later started Jobful in 2018. They wanted for people to play more, and considering the fact that you need people to play with, they thought of the HR department as their first choice. After doing some projects involving onboarding, performance, and change management, they had their aha moment while discussing with a potential customer about recruiting. At that moment, they realized that recruiting is the only HR process happening with an external audience, and it doesn't necessarily involve employees, but candidates. This is the turning point for the team, and they decided to create a product instead of being a software company. For our demo here today, we have Mihai Cepoi, the CEO of Jobful. Hello, Mihai. Nice to have you here.
Hello, Alexandra. Happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So, I see you already shared your screen. Maybe you walk us a bit through the platform, and afterwards see exactly if we have any questions and what else we can add to it. Show us a bit. Yeah.
I think my colleague Irinka has the nicest voice in the team, so I'll let her present a bit the solution, and then we can continue with the questions.
Is recruiting important after all? Worldwide leaders know that people are the only asset that innovates, and that innovation is the only path to sustain performance. And everything starts with candidate smart experience. The biggest threat for a business? The lack of key skills. Talent is nevertheless vital to your success. Our topic today, the key player of your organization's future, recruiting. How much does it cost to do nothing? A lot. 9 out of 10 qualified applicants are lost during processes. From a global perspective, the failure rate within 18 months is close to 50%, and only 19% of hires are considered an unequivocal success. The cost of a bad hire? It is up to 10 times their annual salary. From screening to interview, companies lose 95% of candidates. And candidates' decisions have multiple variables, not only financial. Imagine today's value of work-from-home benefit when choosing a job. We know all these costly metrics sound terrifying for any business owner, but don't worry. There is a solution to hold them away from you. Drive engagement on Challenge and Academy by rewarding candidates with points and badges through which they can unlock your branded experiences and goodies from the shop. Human-focused design ensures better candidate involvement and measures behavioral competences effectively. Remember the cost of a bad hire? It is still 10 times the annual salary. So here's how you can save that money. Generate proactive and pre-tested candidate pipelines while contributing to their learning and development. Build online courses to prepare candidates with learning materials and test them for your desired roles, technologies, and skills. Through challenges, not only can you validate specific skills, but you can also keep candidates engaged by rewarding them with points to get your branded experiences and goodies from the shop. Funnel down your pipeline by engaging candidates with fun and intriguing challenges for any business objective. Employer branding, pre-testing solution, market research, or sourcing engagement. We all know the fastest way to attract key talent to your team is through their network. Set in motion a new user acquisition engine. Trigger referrals, unlocking goodies in the shop, and control your cost of user acquisition. Get rid of the noise and identify your best-fitting candidates in a few clicks with Elasticsearch. The matching system provides you high compatibility between your job and the candidate in a very precise way, counting only the matches with a double opt-in of both sides. Keep track and split workload between your sourcing and hiring team. By integrating with SAP solutions, Jobful offers companies that are already using SAP platform the opportunity to maintain and develop their own database and complete recruitment journey with a candidate smart experience that optimizes recruiters' time to fill. What we know from global benchmarks is that every organization is losing a lot of the talent in their funnel on each step, from interviews to hire, screening to interview, and so on. Comparing these benchmarks with our customer statistics, the conversion rate improvement impacting the entire business is 5 times bigger. We know that time to fill can disrupt entire business segments, and checking where most of the time goes by unifying the experience for candidates, recruiters, and hiring managers, we are impacting 75% of this time. Innovation is about challenging our realities. Will you challenge yours? Let's discuss about how Jobful can take the headache out of your recruitment process. Innovation starts with you.
That's very interesting. So basically what you're trying to address here is the problem of the companies who are recruiting to actually find the best match for their jobs. I saw that you also have public listings of jobs as well. How are you? Is that in order to bring in employees to the platform, or how are you addressing this? Let's say two sides of the same story process.
Yes, so I think finding the best match is actually an outcome, but the recruitment process has quite a lot of steps in between, from employer branding and making your name in the market for attracting talent, to selection processes, to going through CVs, and the list can go on. What we wanted to achieve is basically impact the two most important metrics in recruitment, and these are conversion rate, so how many candidates you see, how many of these you actually hire, and time to fill. So when you have a new job requisition, how soon can you fulfill that need in your organization? In order to achieve that, as you saw, there's quite a lot of systems in place, from challenges to drive engagement and gamification as well, to matching system in order to drive better results, and academies to prepare a pipeline of your candidates. So it is indeed a two-way street. In order to have accountability at the end of the candidates, you also need the same at the end of the recruitment. And the list can go on not only for accountability, but for every single step of the process. In order to make this happen as good as possible, you need both ends engaged and with a stake in this entire game.
What is the process of designing your games? How can you actually assess professional skills based on that? Do you work with psychologists? Do you work with other professionals in these directions?
Yes, I think there's a slight misinterpretation of what we're actually doing. So gamification is a framework. Behind it is human-focused design, meaning how you can tap into people's motivators in order to drive the process. For example, when a company invites a candidate, he or she receives an SMS and an email mentioning that they have 48 hours to accept or decline that invitation. This is a mechanic creating an urgency and being able to provide an answer within 2 working days. And this is part of our gamification framework. So it's often that people confuse gamification with games. At the same time, we're also doing front-end games for specific cognitive processes. For example, attention or memory. This is what we're building as we speak. In terms of assessment, we do have in our academies a list of tests created with psychologists indeed, in order to assess the most wanted skills like proactivity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, leadership, and the list goes on.
How is each test associated to each job posting, or how do you match one with the other?
So thank you for the question. First of all, we're just in the middle of a new go live. Up until now, we had and we still have a search engine, an Elasticsearch, where recruiters can say, I want 3 to 5 years of experience, critical thinking, French speakers, advanced, and with Java as experience or knowledge or skill declared. And based on that, they were able to find within clicks all the relevant candidates. Now with the new Go Live, which is a machine learning approach, the platform follows the candidates and the job descriptions. So it looks how many academies they completed and their scores for different skills, what other skills they declared, what challenges they answered, and what was the feedback they received. It follows the user in the platform in order to find the best recommendations. So the Elasticsearch, it's doing automatically the Elastic searches and then providing to the candidates, just like Netflix. Look, these are 98% on your profile, the best job that you can apply to. And the same for the companies. These are the best 30 candidates for your job description. So it matches automatically based on the experience and everything they complete.
For both candidates and companies, what's the management of the pipeline after the job posting? What does that look like?
That is indeed a type of solution that is very present in our working life today, especially in corporate environments. It's called applicant tracking system. There are several big players, just like SuccessFactors or Taleo or different other technologies. And that's a space that we didn't want to tap in because they already have systems into place that they're using and using them quite well. So we're integrating with this type of solution.
Okay.
As soon as the candidate and the company match and they have this handshake saying, yes, I'm interested in the opportunity and in the candidate at the other hand, then they are able to send them in the applicant tracking system and continue the management of the pipeline as they are already used to.
What about the pricing scheme? I saw, let's say, a different approach on the website there. Can you please tell us a bit more about how you approach companies in this direction? Do you offer also dedicated account management? How does it work?
Yes. So in few words, we track what's happening in the market and the fact that most of the platforms are monetizing based on unlocking a profile or adding another recruiter on the platform. License driven or I don't know, different other approaches that are not business relevant for the companies. They are interested in the candidates that are also interested in their jobs. So we eliminate all this. We said in terms of licenses and recruiters, as many as possible, there's no fee for adding another colleague from recruitment because we want to drive new recruitment opportunities. In terms of unlocking a profile, it's not relevant to unlock a profile if that candidate is not interested in your job. So we only allow unlocking a profile if the candidate says, yes, I'm also interested in this opportunity, or she applies. So we change the entire monetization or offering based on business value. So when you have that handshake and you're interested in a candidate who also says, yes, I'm interested, that's something that we monetize. Or having access to the challenges system in order to drive engagement and employer branding, or having access to a dedicated academy to create a pipeline of candidates. These are actual things that bring value to companies, and these are the things that we monetize at the moment.
That's actually a very, let's say, fair approach towards companies. What about in the context of remote work? Have you seen any changes of recruitment behavior after the changes of the pandemic? How did that work for you and your solution?
Well, it did change quite a lot. 6 months ago, we had the crisis of talent in our market. So the companies were fighting over a few candidates that we had in the market. And it created this dynamic where candidates were very comfortable. And by very comfortable, I mean, if it rains outside, 1 in 2 candidates will not get to that interview already scheduled, which is terrifying for a company and for our ecosystem, first of all. Now, with several layoffs, with companies freezing their hiring, with companies trying to decide how much they want to invest in Romania or other territories in order to grow their headcount, it changed the dynamic, and we saw that on the platform. In January or February, we should also take into consideration the seasonality, but in January or February, companies were the most engaged entity on the platform. They were sending invitation, they were adding challenges, they were trying to engage with the candidates and so on. week, for example, we had over 300 answers to our challenges, and we do see an increase engagement at the candidate level because the dynamic changed. So the talent market changed in many ways, and we also changed bits and dots on our business model, because if you're freezing your hiring and you don't do any hirings for the next 2 months, for example, there's no reason to freeze your recruitment process, because it might take a while, and we're getting back to that time to fill. It might take a while until you find and commit a new potential collaboration with a candidate or future colleague. If you're freezing the entire process, then 2 months from now, you're starting over, and it will take you 2 more months in order to find a candidate. So you need to split the entire process, which parts of sourcing and recruitment are still relevant, and which parts are better to stand by and wait for more communication within the company.
Thank you very much, Mihai, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. So here we have it. The next generation of recruiting seems to be definitely on the verge of a change, and Jobful aims to bring us one step closer in order to have the best possible match of candidates and companies. So we'll have a chance to discover our next job simply by playing. Test it out, and tell us your feedback. Find out your dream job. Thank you very much for watching us.